All right. Good morning. This is actually pre-recorded. This is not live. I figured I'd go over some market conditions. So this is the spot market. These are the market conditions. I get this email from my very good friend CDN every Tuesday or every Monday. He sends this to me. So I figured I'd go over it. So as you can see, the overall market is soft. You got soft, loose, neutral, tight, and very tight. Very tight's where we can kind of create our own pricing as drivers. Very loose means that yeah, our pricing, we don't have as much power. So let's see. This is so the overall market is soft, obviously. Van market is soft. Reefer market's a little bit better on the gauge here. And then flatbed's actually in the loose, still not great, but better than flat and reefer or van and reefer right now. All right, so rate data. The National Truckload Index price, inclusive of fuel, rose 1 cent to $2.26 a mile. The National Truckload Index line haul rate, which removes fuel, rose 1 cent to $1.64 a mile. For reference, the lowest spot rate in 2019 was $1.47. So we're not quite to the lowest rate in 2019 yet. Contract rates, which are base line haul rates like the NTIL, moved up 2 cents to $2.41 a mile. Note, look for contract rates to decline over the coming months. So here's your capacity trends. The outbound tender reject index, which measures relative capacity in the market, decreased to 2.77%. For reference, anything above 6% is showing capacity as tightening. The van outbound tender reject index has dropped to 2.45%. For reference, the index record low is 2.3. So again, we're not quite to that bottom yet. Flatbed outbound tender reject index has dropped to 11.32%, way higher than that 2.45. And then reefer is moved up to 4.65. For reference, in April of 2020, during the height of the pandemic, it was 3.82. So we're still better off than what we were in early 2020. Tender rejections are an indicator of trucking capacity conditions. Declining numbers indicate carriers are losing pricing power, while increasing numbers indicate carriers are gaining pricing power. And I see this firsthand. So the reefer, I scored a pretty decent reefer load. I got them up like $400 from the original posted rate. So market data. Port of Seattle was reported as closed over the weekend due to the International Longshore and Warehouse Union labor strife. I don't know if that's strife or strike. Ongoing slow and go tactics by the ILWU are now impacting Asian cargo flows to the West Coast, and low water levels in the Panama Canal are affecting Asian cargo flows to the East and Gulf coasts. Truck times in and out of the gate for container pickup at ports of LA and Long Beach are up, while the number of containers waiting off ports has doubled. The May release of the Logistics Manager Index indicated contradiction in the headline index for the first time in the LMI's half year history, down 3.6 points from April to 47.6. So here's your graphs. Outbound tender volume index is below. The takeaway from this chart is the low counts are showing the usual bump up for pre-Memorial Day. This was before Memorial Day, so this is where we're at. We can zoom this in here. And there's that little bump there. And then this graph is the capacity for van and reefer remains soft as flatbed capacity is becoming easier to cover as well. So there's your numbers there. And Baltic Index for shipping costs. There's your graph there. So shipping costs are still going up. And here's your container import volume. Let's see, the blue line is 2019. We are the orange line, so let's click on this. It's not going to let me zoom in there. So we're right about, we're slightly above 2019. But as you can see, 21 and 22 were way up here, and then look at the drop that they did. So, and then there's a pay scale for the dock workers there. And then warehouse capacity is expanding faster than what we saw in April. So that's what this chart is. All right, so here's your hot market maps. This is off of the DAT. And then we will do 1, 2, 3 low board as well. So this is your reefer. Red is good, blue is bad on this. Looks like you got a lot of freight coming out of Maine, Idaho, California. Of course, this is all produce down here. Laredo, Brownsville, Dallas, Houston area, southern Arkansas, northern Louisiana. Notice Wisconsin is a little bit colder than what the southeast is. I've been saying for a while that the southeast is doing pretty good. Here's your flatbed market. Of course, the southeast is always good down here, as you can see. And then we've got a little bit going on in Oregon, Northern California, and Southern Washington. And then we got little pockets around the ports here in Jersey and Connecticut. And then a little bit going on in Minnesota here. And then look at dry van. It's all blue. Southwest is doing fairly good volume-wise. I don't know about rates. And then, of course, the southern tip, again, produce a lot of watermelon can go on a vended van. A lot of flowers and trees also, and then cotton as well. And then, of course, there's this little pocket around Atlanta, and then the Carolinas there. And then you got a little bit of warmth going on in mid-Florida here. So that's what's going on with that. And let's look at the 1, 2, 3 low board. Let's look at their hot market maps. 48065 is my code if you want to get all these tools for $35 a month. If you want to check out the load availability map for yourself, you can. So here's 1, 2, 3 low boards hot market map. Here's flatbed. As you can see, it kind of resembles what the DAT was saying. It's doing it by state instead of market. So you got a little bit of warmth here in Wisconsin. You got a little bit of warmth here in California. And then Oregon. It's not showing the ports as much, but, I mean, definitely the southeast is where you want to be. Let's look at van. Van, you got California, Arizona, Texas. Again, this is all probably produce going through here. The kind that can be put on a vended van. And then, of course, you got the Midwest that's doing well, and then Southeast, and then even that warm spot in Florida is probably creating. There's 281 outbound loads, 526 inbound, and 127 intrastate. So that's what's going on with Florida. And then in the reefer market, you have this map. Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa, Illinois, these are all doing fairly well. Now, your rates coming out of New York and PA are not going to be as good, even though it's green on here. Just gives you a better chance to negotiate, a little bit more leverage. As you can see in the reefer world, Alabama is no good, but Georgia is doing okay. North Carolina, this kind of reflects the DAT low board as well. And then Jersey. And then, of course, you got the states where a lot of produce is coming out. So there you go. So this is just a market report. This was not live. I figured I'd do this on a couple of the off days. And happy hunting for loads. The best thing you can do is keep your head in the game. Don't be over emotional and figure it out. So with that being said, thanks for watching.